Hey everyone, this is Jillian Gran. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the Windows 10 app called Snip Sketch. It's a relatively newer tool compared to its predecessor, which is called Snipping Tool, and that one was developed in the early 2000s. But Snip Sketch is what's going to be taking over for that. It's just an updated version. It has all the same features of the snipping tool, but also a couple new features that are pretty awesome. So I'm just going to walk you through how to use all the features of Snip Sketch, even though some are very much the same as the old snipping tool, but some of you may not even know about the old snipping tool. So this is going to be a great tool for you to learn either way. So there are several ways that you can get to the Snip Sketch tool. First of all, if you hit the Windows key plus Shift plus S, that will open up the Snip Sketch tool for you, but it only gives you the little toolbar. So I'm just going to hit that combination, Windows key plus Shift plus S, and you can see it opens up this little toolbar at the top here, and I can choose what type of snip I would like to make. If you want to open up the full tool or app, then you can go to your search bar and just type in Snip, and you'll see Snip Sketch pops right up. Also Snipping Tool, that's the old one that I was talking about. I actually have both of these pinned to my taskbar because I'm still getting used to the new one, and it's really hard to not use my old one because it's so familiar and I've been using it for years. So still trying to switch over, but I really do like the new version. So here it is right here. You can open the app from there. I suggest pinning this to your taskbar. I use it every day, especially when I'm at work, when I'm teaching, when I'm making different tutorials for my students or whatever it may be. I use it all the time. So if you go back to where you found the app, you can right click on this and you can pin it to your taskbar. Mine's already pinned, so it's asking me to unpin it. But here, if I unpin it, right click, I can pin it to my taskbar. And it'll put it back. Okay. So another way that you can get to the Snip Sketch toolbar, it's not going to open the full app, but it'll open the toolbar, is through your notifications center. So down here in the bottom right corner, if I go to notifications, I can see my screen snip is right here. Now, if that is not on your notification center, just right click, click edit, and then you can add anything that's not there. So if it's not there, you'll have the option to add. Screen snip is the only one that I don't have on here. I have them all. So you can add that one there. And then you can rearrange them if you want to, however you want. So you can get to it this way. But again, this is only going to give me this little menu bar up here. I don't get the option to delay my snip. I just have the normal, the 4 different types of snipping. So if you're just doing something real quick, you're going to snip it and paste it somewhere, then, like I can paste it, since I just snipped, that's what I snipped, and I just pasted it there. If you're not going to be doing any annotation or anything and you don't need the full app, then you can just use that quick access from your notifications center. Same thing with the Windows Shift S key. That's just going to give you this bar. It's not going to open it up in the app. It's just for quick snipping. That's why I like to have the app pinned to my taskbar, because a lot of times I am going to be annotating or highlighting something on it to point something out to someone. So I do like to use this, or I'm going to be saving it to somewhere, so I don't want it just copied to my clipboard. Alright, another way that you can get it is through your print screen button, but you have to turn this on. So you're going to basically link the app to your print screen button. So I know some people use the print screen button. It'll take a screenshot of your entire screen and then they'll crop it. But it's actually nice to be able to push the print screen button and choose how much of your screen you want to crop. So if I hit print screen, mine is linked, so it opens up this full menu. So I can take a screenshot of the full screen still, or I can just take a screenshot of a specific window, or I can use the rectangular snip and snip just one particular area of my screen. So to turn on that print screen, or to link it to the Snip and Sketch app essentially, just go into your settings on the app itself. There's a way to get through it to here, but I think this is easier. So when you have the app open, you can click on these three dots and go to Settings. And right here it says use the print screen button to open screen snipping. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to prompt me to switch. Yes, I'm going to switch apps, and it's going to open the settings for me. So instead of finding this in your search menu, which you can do, it's not difficult. You just have to go to ease of access and then go to keyboard. But it's easier to just go through the app, in my opinion. So now that I'm here, I'm going to scroll down to print screen shortcut. Use the print screen to open screen snipping. I'm going to turn that on, and I already have it on. So when I hit that print screen button on my keyboard, it opens up my little my Snip and Sketch toolbar. Okay, so that's another quick access way to get to it. Now, in the app itself, let's go over what you can do with this. So you'll see up at the top left corner, I have this new sketch button, and I can click on that, and it gives me the options, the different snipping options here. Rectangular snip is what I use the most. That just allows you to skip or snip a rectangular area of whatever you wish. And then the next one is the freeform snip, so it's kind of like a lasso. So if I wanted to just snip a certain area of something, then it will give me just that snip. Close these out. And then the next one is to snip just a specific window. So actually, let me get this set up first. Let me open another window. Let me just pull this tab out. Okay, so let's say I have multiple windows open, and I hit New, and I want to specifically only snip a certain window. So I can either snip this window, or I can snip this window back here. But notice how this one's in the front. I can snip all of that. If I click on this one back here, it's just going to snip what it shows. It's not going to, so whatever you want to snip has to be in the forefront for you to be able to do it. Okay. So when I do this one, which is in the front, I click on that, and it snips that window, just what's shown on my screen. And then the other option is to snip my full screen. So if I hit that one, it's going to snip my entire screen, just like a print screen would. But with this, it opens it in the app, and then you can annotate it. So if you wanted to draw on this or highlight something, you can use the different pen tools that are up here. There's an eraser if you need to erase. Just click on something that you draw on there and erase it. There's also these really cool tools, the ruler and the protractor. So for the ruler, you can actually, if you want to draw a straight line, you can use the ruler, and I'm just drawing across, and it's making it straight for me. If I want to rotate this, I can use 2 fingers on my trackpad to rotate, or if you had a mouse, you can use the scrolling, if you have a scrolling mouse, you can do it that way. So if I wanted to make a 90 degree, or I wanted to make corners that are perpendicular, I can do it with this. There we go. And then there's the protractor. So I'm going to get rid of the ruler, open up the protractor. And with the protractor, I can just draw along this edge here, and it'll just make it. So if I wanted to specifically make an angle of a certain number of degrees, or if I was just trying to make a nice circle around something, you do have the protractor there as well. And then to make this smaller, there we go. You do have to use 2-finger scroll. It just doesn't work as fast as the rotating on the ruler. Alright, and then you have the cropping tool. So if I wanted to crop this down, so if I snipped something, if I snipped the full screen, but I just wanted to take out a little bit of it, then I can do that as well with the cropping tool. And then you just want to click the check mark to apply. Or if you didn't mean to do that, you can cancel. So then once I've annotated on this, I have my settings set to where if I close this out, it's going to prompt me to make sure that I want to, just get rid of the file because it's not going to save. So let's say that I accidentally wanted to copy this, so I can copy that. And then if I'm making some kind of tutorial or something, I can come over here and paste it in my slides after I've annotated it how I want it. One option that I didn't mention is the touch writing. This is only available on touchscreen devices, so if you have that hand there, that just means that you can touch on your screen to annotate on your snip. So we also have a zoom setting. If you need to zoom in on something, you can. If you're trying to do some annotating or something where you needed to zoom in, or you can just click view actual size. And you can have this full screen too as well, like any other normal window. And the save button is right here. So if you wanted to save it to your desktop or a folder for some kind of project, or you're working on some kind of presentation and you want to save all these screenshots, and you can do that there. You can obviously copy, like I just showed you, copy and paste it into something if you're just doing something immediate and you don't need to save it. And then you can share it. So you can, I don't have any people set up, so I don't have a way to share that, but you can share it with certain people. You can turn on Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, like similar to like AirDrop on an iPhone. You can drop it to somebody else through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. You can share it to Facebook, you can share it, or you can email it, and there's other apps you want to share using other apps as well. Now, these 3 dots here, I'm going to go in and look at those a little bit more with you. I did show you the settings to link it to your print screen button, but we're going to go over some more settings as well. But right here, you can open it with different programs, like if you wanted to open it with Paint for some reason. If you wanted to print it, you can do that there. And then you have these other options. But settings is what we're going to go to. So if you want to link your print screen button, that's where I showed you this earlier. And then there's other options here. So auto copy to clipboard. If you want it to automatically copy to your clipboard when annotating, so you don't have to copy, like on the old snip, anytime you made an edit, I believe you had to copy, you had to go to File or Edit, Copy, and then Paste. But if you had this turned on, I can make an edit to this, and then if I go to paste it, the edit is already there. I don't have to re-copy it. Okay? So I can skip this step if I have that setting turned on. Okay? So I do like to have that turned on. Save snips, ask to save my snip before closing. So if I have not saved it, I want it to prompt me to make sure that I'm ready to close it out. So I like to have that on. Multiple windows open snips in separate windows. So if you're doing multiple different things, it just opens it in separate windows. As you can see, I have I have multiple snips open in different windows there, so I have that turned on. Snip outline. So I'm going to turn this on and show you. I do like having it on. I'm going to turn it on so you can see the different settings. So you can change the color of the outline, okay, to whatever you want. Then you can change the thickness of the outline as well. And what that is going to do, I'm actually going to hit the back arrow. I don't want to close out of this. I'm just going to hit the back arrow. So that is going to create a border around my snip, and you can barely see it. Let me make it bigger so you can see that it did something. And let's make it black. And we'll make it a little bit thicker for viewing purposes. Go back. Okay, so now you can see it's got a border around it. Zoom out a little bit. Oh, I have it cropped, that's why. So you can only see it down here. So let me make a new one and show you what it's going to do. See? Look at me. It's habit, y'all. I always go back to the old one. I need to just remove it from my taskbar and get used to the new one. Alright, so see how that gave me this nice black border around my snip. And if I do a rectangular snip, especially around something, if there's a lot of white space, and then you're pasting it onto white space, so let's say I'm pasting it into here, it just makes the snip stand out a lot more. And you can edit the border, right? You just go back to your settings, and you can change that color and make it something. There we go. That was all the way down at the end of the line there. Okay, so you change the color and the thickness, and then when you go back, it has it changed. So you don't have to have it turned on when you snip. You can turn it on after or edit it any way that you want. So I really like having that border around it. So one more thing that I thought of that is probably going to be helpful for some of you is your clipboard settings. So let's say I was using the Windows Shift S shortcut. So remember that just brings up the toolbar and it doesn't open it in the app. It just kind of disappears and it's on your clipboard, but then how do you get to your clipboard, right? So I'm going to do a couple more screenshots. So let's say that I use this one and I snip another one and then the Windows Shift S again, and let me just snip a third one. Okay? So I have those 3 screenshots, but I haven't pasted them anywhere yet, and I want to get back to those. So I can click or press Windows key V, and that pulls up my clipboard, and I can see those screenshots that I have just made. So if I wanted to now paste those, let me open up my slides. So Windows key V, and I can either delete these, clear them all, pin them if I wanted to save one, but really I can just click on it and paste it right in here. Again, Windows V, click on it, and it'll paste it in whatever window I have open. So that's how you can get to those. Now, you have to have this setting turned on. So if you go to that search menu again and you go to clipboard settings, you do have to turn this on. So this is your clipboard history, keeps a history of those screenshots. Otherwise, you'll just have the last screenshot that you take rather than it saving each one for you. So turn that on, and that'll be helpful if you just want a quick screenshot, and then get back to them and paste them later. Okay, so I think that's everything. Like I said, I use this daily, really. I mean, in my personal life and at work. It's just so convenient. If somebody is asking me how to do something, those of you that know, I run a Facebook group, and if they need to see something visually, I can grab a snip real quick and paste that into Facebook so they can see what it looks like. And it's just really helpful when I'm making tutorials for students, especially with using Google Classroom virtually. I found that I have had to put together lots of different things with screenshots that I send to students, and it just makes it a lot easier to use this snipping tool. So I hope that was helpful, and Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, but pin that Snip and Sketch app to your toolbar and start using it. You're going to love it. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.